Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight on this potentially snowy evening. Being brave to be here with us. So I'm going to read the proclamation about Black History Month. Whereas Black History Month is an occasion to rediscover the enduring stories of African Americans and the gifts of freedom and opportunity they have bestowed upon future generations. Whereas it is also a time to commemorate the countless contributions of African Americans, many of whom lived through and surmounted the scourge of segregation, racial prejudice, and discrimination to enrich every fiber of American life. They're examples of heroism, patriotism, enterprise, and giving people of all backgrounds confidence, courage, and faith to pursue their own dreams. And whereas the many local organizations and many individuals throughout our township are dedicated to the principle of fostering civic, economic, and educational programs throughout the township of Franklin, and are dedicated to encouraging reflection on the rich history and teachings of African Americans and bearing witness to the progress, beauty, and achievements they have made throughout our community. Whereas Black History Month is called and is a call to each and every citizen of our community to reflect on the cultural, scientific, political, and economic contributions of African Americans, which are woven through American society, and we remember and we learn from and we build on the past so that together we can build a better and a more prosperous future for all Americans. Now, therefore, we, our Mayor Philip Kramer, and I, Councilwoman Kimberly Francois of the Township of Franklin, County of Somerset, New Jersey, on behalf of Franklin Township Council, do hereby proclaim the month of February to be Black History Month in the Township of Franklin. And we urge all citizens to join in celebrating the diversity and character of our community and highlight the importance of sharing our culture, customs, and traditions with all of us and all of those around us. Thank you. Now we're going to do the proclamation, which is very befitting about our Martin Luther King community celebration we had and honor one individual in particular.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. A couple of weeks ago, we celebrated the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. The 28th annual breakfast was organized by the Franklin Township Dr. Martin Luther King Foundation. The foundation's main objective is to raise scholarship money for graduate and Franklin High School students. They have given out over $282,000 to 238 graduate and students, and including my own daughter. So the people behind this wonderful event are a group of volunteers who worked tirelessly to make this great annual event possible. Some of them are here, and I would like to invite them to come and join us here. And we want to take the opportunity to express our gratitude. Please come forward. Our gratitude for organizing this grassroots community event to recognize the life and works of Dr. King and raise funds to invite in the education of our youth. Also, I'd like to take the opportunity to remember one of the founders of the foundation, which is Ms. Ava Naj, who is no longer with us. And we have a commendation that I would like to read. Commendation by the Mayor and the Council of the Township of Franklin. We, Philip Kramer, Mayor, Kimberly Francois, Councilwoman, and I, Alex Karazi, Councilman of the Township of Franklin, in the County of Somerset and the State of New Jersey, on behalf of the Township Council and all residents of the Township of Franklin, do hereby extend on behalf of Franklin Township Dr. Martin Luther King Community Foundation to Sean Hebben, President, appreciation and commendation for organizing an active participation in 28th annual breakfast held on January 20th, 2025 to commemorate Dr. King's legacy and raise scholarship funds to help graduate of Franklin Township High School students. Thank you very much.
I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the entire Franklin Township Dr. Martin Luther King Foundation. And just to say that the foundation was developed through a collaboration between the Board of Education, the Franklin Township schools, and the police department back in 1997. We talked about and she was recognized at our breakfast, founder Ava Naj. She was representing the board along with Chief Daniel Levac, representing the police department, and Frank Pepe, who was at the time the superintendent of schools. Since then, we've been able to grow this foundation exponentially over the years, and as the calculations are coming in from this last breakfast, we're going to be either at or just over $300,000 worth of donations since we've been founded, and they all go to Franklin Township Public School graduating seniors. We'll also be growing the foundation to change with the times and move from just being a financial benefit to also investing in our young folks and serving in a mentorship capacity to help them prepare for adulthood. So we're expanding with the times that's happening, and that's our continued growth. I'm happy to be a part of it. I thank everyone for the support of our events, particularly the breakfast, because without the Franklin Township community, we cannot be a success. It's the businesses that contribute. It's the single donations. It's the coming out through the snow, during these events, showing up when you would rather be at home and coming and supporting, not only buying a ticket but donating above and beyond that. That's what makes it special. It also makes it special that it's an event that brings everyone out, and it's a time to bring Franklin together, to sit there and enjoy performances and speeches and have breakfast and fellowship with each other. And that's something we look forward to every year. Make no mistake, we will be back. And I also just want to take a quick minute to thank our trustees and our officers, because they deserve a lot of recognition, because no one gets paid for this. This is a labor of love, and we do it out of just pure desire to give back to these students. We have Gary Rosenthal, who's our first vice president, Alice Sipowicz, who's our secretary. I'd like to also thank Maher Rafiq, who's a trustee. She's here right now, Maher. We have Rabbi Eli Garfinkel, Ron Pushti, Dr. Sheila Tabanli, Dr. Jay Gittens-Hebben, Bill Grippo. Bill. We have Talia Bennett, Sammy Shaban, Michael Stallings, Sonia Asante, Sonia Ismail, and Regina Clark. Those are all our trustees, and we all put the work in and make this thing a success every year. Thank you very much for all the council support and everyone just for being part of this and joining us in our efforts. And you guys all contribute to making that day special. We thank you very much, and I thank you much.
You don't want to say anything? Just a quick word. We really couldn't do this without Sean Hebben. He really is the locomotive behind this effort. His commitment to this scholarship trustee board is just amazing, plus all the trustees. This year was very special because we honored a dear friend, Ava Naj, who passed away, as was just mentioned. Ava was the life and spirit of this for many, many years. And then she passed on her leadership to Sean. So it was really shows you the great strength of this organization. And like I say every year, when I get to a microphone, if you want to see Franklin Township in one moment, come to the breakfast. That's where the community meets once a year. It's so powerful. I recommend everyone to be there. Come on over here. You got to say something.
If you insist, Bill. Thank you, Dr. Krause. Thank you, council members. This is really wonderful for recognizing us. And thank you, Sean, for your leadership. I don't think we could have progressed as much as we have since Eva's departure and physically passing. So, it's wonderful. And like Bill said, if you want to see Franklin, diversity, please show up to the breakfast next year. I promise you, you will leave feeling the warmth, the love, and the humanity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item is item number 6, public discussion. Do we have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, we'll wait for the pictures. Who's taking the picture?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
seeing no one come forth.
Now, whoa.
Oh, all right.
We haven't opened the meeting yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the snow plows are about to come out. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of opening, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Anyone wishing to speak on any matter of government may come up to the microphone. No yielding of time. Because of the impending snow, I'm going to limit it to 3 minutes. May only come up once. Please state your name and address.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Robert Scarpane, and I live at 209 Onazuka Court. I am speaking tonight to request that the council adopt a resolution in support of the New Jersey Climate Superfund Act in order to offset the financial burden of climate change on Franklin Township. The bill was voted out of the Senate Environment and Energy Committee on December 12, 2024. This bill applies the logic of the original Superfund Act, which requires polluters to pay to clean up their contamination sites, to the climate crisis. Similar bills to date have passed in 2 states, in Vermont, and recently New York State passed their bill. Under the Act, municipalities will be able to recover costs for climate change, remediation, and adaptation projects, which include, but not limited to, flood protection projects, upgrades of stormwater drainage systems, preparation and recovery from extreme weather events, etc. The costs of climate change remediations are increasing yearly and are estimated to reach 1/3 of global GDP by 2000. To note, scientists employed by the fossil fuel companies knew long ago about climate change issues, yet distorted and buried the evidence. We noticed through FOIA requests that captured various correspondence that they had with the government. So therefore, I now think that it's time for these companies to pay for cleaning up the mess that they made. And that's my statement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kiki Anastasakos, and I live at 3204 Enclave Circle in Somerset, New Jersey. Thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, esteemed members of the Council. I am also here to request that Franklin Township passes a resolution supporting the New Jersey Climate Superfund Act. I would like to go back to the invocation that Councilman Vasanella just gave us, which was, as I'm sure you know, this was about peace in the community and around the world. Well, I believe in order to have peace, there has to be fairness. And with climate change, the largest fossil fuel corporations have created an uneven playing field where they have been for many, many years reaping the benefits and huge profits as a result of our dependency on fossil fuels, and we as taxpayers have to pay the cost of major storms and flooding and destroyed roads, county roads, township roads, and rebuild homes in communities that have been destroyed from fires. So this act, the legislation, which is already in the Assembly and the Senate, it's Assembly number 4696, the bill number, and it's supposed to make the playing field much more fair in the sense that it will require the fossil fuel corporations to pay some of the damages from climate change. And of course, we all know that New Jersey has seen unprecedented destruction. And also Franklin Township, we have had major storms that we have not seen before in the last few years, massive wildfires in other parts of the state, and so various townships throughout the state are including just recently the township of Hoboken, just a couple of days ago, passed a resolution supporting this legislation. So again, I would like you to pass a resolution supporting this Superfund Act in order to create a more fair and resilient future for New Jersey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Linda Powell, 22 Buffer Drive. We have presented a copy of the resolution to the Environmental Commission, the same one I recently emailed the mayor and the council members. And they commented, and the feedback was that it was well written and there seemed to be basic agreement, but they asked for a reference to paragraph 1 on page 2, which reads, whereas more than 50 years ago, scientists at major fossil fuel companies knew of the direct link between fossil fuels and global warming and reported their findings to corporate executives who choose to deceive the public about climate science, downplay and distort the evidence of climate change, engage in a decades-long campaign against climate action, fund counterfeit science, and manufacture uncertainty with no scientific basis. That reference, which had not been previously included, is an article from Scientific American from October 26, 2015 that stated, Exxon was aware of climate change as early as 1977, 11 years before it became a public issue. The article quotes Exxon's senior scientist, James Black, who states, quote, there is a general scientific agreement that the most likely manner in which mankind is influencing the global climate is through carbon dioxide release from the burning of fossil fuels. And he went on to warn that the doubling of CO2 gases in the atmosphere would increase the average temperature by 2 to 3 degrees, and continue to warn that the present thinking, quote, the present thinking holds that man has a time window of 5 to 10 years before the need for hard decisions regarding climate change and energy strategies that might become critical. That was back in the 70s. And it was it's the management of Exxon that went on. The article also explained that Exxon proceeded to spend $30 million, which was a lot of money back in the 70s and 80s, on think tanks to promote climate denial. So I hope that you will support such a resolution and that the people in Franklin and New Jersey, which has also been labeled a pipeline state, will let their state legislators know that they support the New Jersey Climate Superfund Act, which is Senate Bill S. 3545 and Assembly Bill 4696. And since I have 31 seconds, another important state bill to support is the Immigrant Trust Act, Senate 3672 and Assembly 4987, which essentially limits New Jersey involvement in federal deportation and detention system, ensuring that local resources are used to support local priorities rather than fund federal immigration enforcement. Thank you.
Good evening, Christopher Rios, Super Groovy, 16 Bloomfield Avenue. We're here today to urge the Council to continue supporting the LGBT+ community and to take action as needed in response to the recent federal executive orders directed against members of that community, as part of a national campaign to stymie, if not extinguish, the flourishing of the LGBTQ+ community by instilling fear and prejudice among the public. It has been reported that in the most recent election, nearly $250 million was spent on ads hostile to trans and non-binary individuals. This was done largely by foregrounding the statistically rare occurrence of gender-affirming surgeries for minors. To be clear, according to a 2024 article published in the Journal of the American Medical Association that looked at the available data from 2019 for insurance-covered procedures, only 2.1 of every 100,000 trans or gender-diverse minors aged 15 to 17 underwent gender-affirming surgery. That drops to only 0.1 of every 100,000 such minors in the ages 13 to 14, and to zero, none, among such minors aged 12 or younger. And these numbers refer, quote, almost entirely to chest-related procedures. Almost $250 million spent to scapegoat a small community already at an increased risk for violence and discrimination. And then there's the executive order on school reform. This document wants you to believe that at our community schools, quote, students are forced to accept anti-American, subversive, harmful, and false ideologies, steering students towards surgical and chemical mutilation without parental consent, end quote. This is a gross misrepresentation both of what is being taught at schools and of how the discovery of one's sexual orientation and gender identity actually takes place, especially when one has the benefits of environments that foster such discovery free of imposed moralities that disregard advances in scientific, empirical knowledge of human sexuality and development. Simply put, this executive order, like the others, is propaganda. Whether the topic is trans folks, immigrants, DEI, or what have you, it is all to distract us from the social and economic issues that truly stand in the way of our nation's advancement. To name a few: racism, climate change, misogyny, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, gun violence, maternal and infant mortality rates, the far right, the lack of affordable housing, and the accumulation of unquestionably absurd amounts of wealth into the hands of a few while the middle class and lower income individuals continue to feel the burden of a dollar that buys less. And this is our public education, healthcare, and retirement systems crumble due in no small part to one side of the political spectrum, selective skepticism of government's role in the lives of its citizens, unless it has to do with bodily autonomy, your consensual sex life, or our medical decisions. So council members, I ask that you proactively and even creatively continue to protect and support the LGBT+ community, but also people of color, immigrants, women, young people, the currently and formerly incarcerated, veterans, low-income individuals, and the middle class. We can no longer rely on federal law to explicitly define the protections we know are right and just, so we must call in the support of New Jersey law, and absent that, our township's own codes and convictions about what enriches a thriving democracy. Strengthen what is already there, look for what isn't, help our young people in school, and lastly, with my remaining time, continue supporting the arts and higher education, two pillars of a thriving democracy that are immensely important, yet likewise under attack. Thank you.
Good evening. Mark Harris, 524 East Celebration Way. I'm here on behalf of the Somerset Community Action Program just to share information on a job training initiative that we are partnered with the Township on, and thanks in large part to the Township and to the Council who elected to set aside some of the American Rescue Plan funds received by the town and decided to invest that back into the town, not only through infrastructure and things like that, but invest directly in the residents of the town for an opportunity like this for job training initiatives in partnership with the Somerset Community Action Program. We have done several trainings already. We've done some things with Raritan Valley Community College, and we've had some residents already graduate with certificates in as phlebotomy lab assistants, pharmacy technicians, administrative assistant certifications. We've also done a Class A CDL training in partnership with Smith & Solomon Trucking Company, and we've had a handful of residents complete and graduate from that program as well. The next round will be beginning on March 3rd. It'll be Mondays through Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Board of Education building off of Route 27. This will be for civil construction job training, where eligible residents will, at the completion and passing of their exam, will be OSHA certified in construction and eligible for those jobs. And so we do have some job partners on the back end who have some employment opportunities for the residents as well. So again, it's a time commitment, but it's a great opportunity for Franklin Township residents to invest in themselves and to, whether they want to change career paths or just go from a regular 9-to-5 into having a true career path and have stable employment. We even saw through the pandemic that construction and jobs like that are things that did not stop. And so just sharing the information that this program will be launching. You can find additional information as well as the registration link on our website, www.somersetcap.org. It is also on the Township website, right on the home page, easy to find. So if you're looking to take advantage of this opportunity or know someone who's looking to take advantage of the opportunity, definitely recommend that you check it out. It is for adults age 18 and older. The training provider is also the training provider that has been working with the school district and doing some construction training with our youth through the Road to Success program. And I spoke to them as well, and they hope to have some of the youth who have graduated and who are now adults to take that foundation and now get certified and be able to, really pursue this career path. So again, just thank you to the council for creating this opportunity for the residents of Franklin Township. And if you are interested, again, check out our website or the Township website for more information and for the registration access. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Council. Robert Cohn, 220 Osborne Court. It's pretty apropos that I'm here today because I was just in New Brunswick, and Senator Smith is one of the two prime sponsors of this Superfund Act that we're asking the council to pass a resolution in support of. This would be an opportunity for us in New Jersey to make history. We'd be the third state in the country to have passed such legislation. So far it's been passed in Vermont and New York, and I've spoken to some people in New York, and they said there hasn't been any extreme abuse of companies in New York State after this bill was signed. So after Ida, and I think unfortunately there's going to be more storms coming up with climate change, I hope that this body would pass a resolution supporting fairness, and this is what it is, having people pay what they owe. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Now, Mr. Wright. Now, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Mayor, seeing no one come forward, I suggest we close public session.
Well done. Second, do we have a second?
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of closing public portion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Public session is closed. Item 7, address public comments and questions. So on the Climate Superfund Act, Ms. Powell, if you could send me that correction that you wanted to. You don't. Okay. I'll submit that to the clerk in a couple of days for next meeting. If any council member objects to that offline, they can contact me. Otherwise, we'll put it on the next agenda. Unless I
think the only thing I would add is I think the Environmental Commission was probably giving some feedback, and then I was going to bring it to the council, but it doesn't really matter.
You'd rather do it that way? It's up to you.
Let's talk offline, but either way is fine.
Okay. So
yeah. We have enough to do environmental. So.
Okay. Did you want to comment, Councilman, on the LGBT?
Sure. I'll be typecast. That's fine. It's fine. First of all, on the Superfund, I think that's pretty well supported. I think I have support from council, just sort of getting the words right. And thank you guys for your time on that. LGBT community, I think there's a lot of folks that feel under attack. It's no doubt. A call I made last week was actually to Gail Nelson. Dr. Nelson, some of you are familiar. She had a chance to come here and receive pride proclamations from us the past few Junes, but she runs a high school gay straight alliance, which they call PACE. I don't know what each of the letters stands for, but they're very active, and particularly a lot of transgender students are part of that group. And I said, hey, I want to check in. How are things? How are the students doing? There seems to be quite an onslaught, whether it's transgender students in sports or removing the T from the website for the Department of State. So, I'm just a couple letters away from that deletion. And, division and conquer is kind of a way authoritarian regimes operate. And to my pleasure, quite frankly, and I think for all of us, she felt very confident that students felt comfortable, that she was creating spaces for them to share not only their anxiety, but their hopes for the future, and continue to have the support they need. And of course, on behalf of the council and the town, offered any services or support that she thought was appropriate, because I think that's really important. I think, being an adult in the LGBT community is one piece of it, and I've had my time to sort of work through that. But being a young person and still, seeing sort of what's happening at the national level and sort of being called out as, executive orders on day one, it's a very different experience. And I don't know what that's like, but I think for all of us to do as much as possible. And I think as a community, Franklin has been tremendously affirming. And I think we need to continue to work to do that together. And I love at the high school, it's a gay-straight alliance. This is not an issue about any one sexual orientation, and the whole community just accepting each other and loving each other and making sure that we're supporting one another as these attacks are coming to erode not only rights that have been hard to come by, but also threats of physical violence, et cetera. And those things are real. I will just remind folks, too, we have scheduled, I'll try to be a little bit positive about it. And this council has done a number of things and taken strong action, both to create an officer within the township, Safi Callan, who is like the human resource person for LGBT folks in town. We've also worked on a gender-neutral bathroom ordinance that you all supported, that if there's two bathrooms, and there's just like single stalls, or any bathroom that's a single stall, like you might see it like a Dunkin' Donuts, that doesn't say male, female. They're just bathroom 1, bathroom 2. They're just bathrooms, like in your house. You don't have a men's room and a women's room. You have a bathroom. And that was well supported, and as much as we could do to be inclusive in our own facilities. But Pride is scheduled, and I think this year is going to be different in a lot of ways. Sort of a reconfirmation of the vigor that we need to have is on June 7th. Timing still to be worked out. If you're interested, Chris, and to get involved, we'd love to have anyone from the community, and I'm going to be setting up a meeting to plan that out. We're particularly partnering with the youth at the high school, so we'll be working directly with the PACE Club and putting together programming, and then a celebration event, and some tabling for folks to understand and have access to resources. But if there are other things that we can do, we always want to be open-minded, and we're happy to, if you stick around, this is going to be a short meeting to talk more about what that looks like. But I think I'm proud to live in Franklin, and be in New Jersey and be shielded somewhat, but none of the shields are impenetrable. And so it's going to take all of us to work and row in the same direction, to take care of one another. And whether it's one community today, I don't think any community or gender or is going to be safe from this administration. And that's not being political. That's looking at the track record that we've seen so far. So thank you for coming today and sharing.
Thank you. Did you have any comments, Councilwoman?
Yeah, I'd like to certainly reemphasize what the executive director of the Somerset Community Action Program came up and talked about. We had, this council supported a construction program in the Road to Success this past year. It was kicked off at the Youth Center, and we had about 20 students that graduated from that program. It was very successful. And before that program, there was a program in the middle school over at Sampson G for the middle school students. And it was actually Mr. Wilson, Orville Wilson, who came to me and said, Councilwoman, this program for the middle school students was very, very successful, but we'd like to offer it to the high school students, but we ran out of money. And so this council, with the foresight and the vision that they have, we said we would like to invest in human capital and not invest the American Rescue Fund money on just pipes in the ground on our water system or our sewage system. And so there was money allocated again to help out the Board of Education. That program was successful. And then we said we'd like to do it again. And so what Mark just came up and talked about is the program that we're getting ready to kick off on March 3rd at Consolata. It's being run by SCAP. The township is providing the money, but the SCAP is doing the outreach, doing the marketing, everything, doing the administration, bringing in the participants, and making sure that they have wraparound services, transportation. If they need daycare, we're providing that. And the program is free. So what we're doing is we're investing in our community. And, I want to thank the council, this council, for thinking about not just the youth, but the young adults, and thinking about what we need to do to continue to invest in the people here in Franklin Township. Of course, you have to be eligible because it is federal grant money, but we're really excited about this. Is going to be the third program that we've been able to administrate and have people participate in and graduate from, and have a new opportunity for a much better future. So we're doing workforce development. I know Councilman Rahm is really into workforce development as well, and we're going to keep doing as much as we can, as often as we can, whatever opportunities and resources that we have. So thank you. And everybody that's out there, you can contact SCAP to get registered, to see if you're eligible to qualify. There's still time to sign up for the program. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Moving on to council comments and reports. I'll remind people that I cut public sessions short because of the impending weather, so I hope you will edit yourselves. Mr. Karazi.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And first of all, let me thank our Public Work Department for the great job that they have done and continue to do to keep our roads clean. And also, I wanted to congratulate the Somerset training programs. I mean, there is a code that says that give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. And you guys is what you're doing. Thank you so much. Just a couple of information about the health-related items. Last week we had the advisory Board of Health meeting, and we had a guest speaker, Ms. Natasha Williams, who is the Human Services Navigator. And she is now stationed at Food Bank. And her role as the Human Service Navigator is to provide intensive case management, information, referral, and screening to vulnerable individuals in Somerset County and our township. And for example, help with housing, employment, utilities, legal services, etc. So she mentioned that 25 contact has been made and 18 of them have received case management support. So this service now is in our township at Food Bank. And so anybody who may need, especially at these difficult times, they can go to Food Bank and get the services there. And the couple of meetings that we have coming up, one is the Trail Committee meeting, which is going to be tomorrow, right across the hall. And also Human Relations, actually it's a Zoom meeting, I think. Yeah, it's a Zoom meeting. Yeah, and maybe not, yeah, but Zoom meeting, as I understand. And Human Relations meeting is going to be on February 26th, and we will have the speaker who is going to be the new interim high school principal, Dr. Kelly Guerra, so I hope you can attend. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Onijaka.
Okay, Mayor, well, I just want to use this opportunity to congratulate SCAP for all their training. And it has been very, very helpful to our youth in Franklin. most especially the less advantaged kids. That is all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Embarrasson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Real quick, there were a number of meetings took place on January 30. We had the BI zone, business industry zone master plan traffic study presentation. A lot of people showed up and gave input to the presentation made by the company that did the study. Very useful information. I think more to come on that subject. Other than that, there was a Public Works Committee meeting today. Councilman Basanella will provide an update on that. The Sewerage Authority reorganization meeting took place on the 4th February, followed by the regular board meeting as well. There are a few events coming up. On the 15th, we have Black History Month at the Senior Center right here in the building. Celebrate the Black History Month. Thank you. And then on the 22nd at the library at 10:30, we have an event. We talked about the diversity of the township. An organization is celebrating International Mother Tongue Month. So Deputy Mayor Dean and I will be there, and we invite others to come and participate in that event as well. And last but not the least, Franklin Food Bank is having their annual Empty Bowls event on March 9th, Sunday, March 9th. Please attend and support that event. It's an annual fundraising. A lot of restaurants are giving free food, not free food. They donate food to the food bank. So the ticket's $70. Early bird price ends on 14th. So rush and get your tickets. That's all I got, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Francois.
I just wanted to say to the gentleman that came up, as you can see, our council is diverse and our township is diverse, and we celebrate diversity here in Franklin Township. And I think what you said was extremely powerful, and I support everything that you said. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Vasanella.
Yes, echo those same comments and everyone who came out tonight. Hopefully we'll get out of here before it snows, but thank you for coming and being part of our meeting. Real quickly, before I forget, I understand the manager will jump in if I'm wrong, but the meeting tomorrow night that a lot of people are looking forward to concerning the public session for Hamilton Street from Vanderbilt Avenue to basically the New Brunswick Middlesex County line has been canceled because of the weather. Is that correct, Mr. Vornlacher?
That would have been my report, but since you did it, I don't have to.
I was looking so forward. I know a lot of people were, but I'm sure they'll reschedule it soon because it's important, and we will definitely get that back up on the calendar as quickly as get all the parties together. Kind of in hand, somewhat what was brought up about climate. I noticed on here, I usually don't point things on resolutions, but I saw something that said mine resistant ambush protected vehicle. Well, long story short, with this crazy weather that is probably not going to stop anytime soon, just get worse. This vehicle, I went online and looked. I don't know if we're going to get it, but it is something that could literally save lives in a flood. It's just incredible vehicles. I guess they're military approved, but being mostly the majority of our town surrounded by water and obviously knowing some of these issues, I just wanted to mention that that's on there, and hopefully we'll get that, and literally can mean the difference between life and death with what seems to be a never-ending weather phenomenons everywhere around this country. Anyway, just wanted to report on the meeting of Public Works we did have earlier tonight. We got a benchmark. We could raise or lower it, but in consultation with the Financial Oversight Committee and looking at what we need to do to keep our roads up to date, up to the standard we want, we're looking at about a $4 million threshold. But we also get straight state grants and get the water or sewer to do some paving. So actually, when I say $4 million between other ways that we can get stuff paved, it ends up being a lot more. We'll get more into that as we develop the list. The one thing I did want to mention, since it was brought up with the money, the SCAP and the programs that we're doing with job training, absolutely phenomenal. Last year, I think we put the minds together and came up with a great way to spend the money. And the other part of that money that was referred to a couple times tonight, the infrastructure money, which quite frankly is providing so we have clean drinking water. So really what we're doing, I think, is a great assortment of stuff that literally is taking care of us from the time we wake up in the morning to job training opportunities. So, but the last round of that money, millions of dollars, we went over and reviewed, and I'm happy and eager to see that last bit to redo our water systems in some of the oldest, areas of town where the water system was in the most need to be replaced will now be replaced off the Hamilton corridor. So I'm looking forward to that. That's the short version. Sorry, Mayor. Thank you. Be safe in these storms.
Thank you. Councilmember Potasnik.
No additional comment. Thank you.
Councilman Wright.
Small comments. As Mr. Bassanella said, the Hamilton Street corridor canceled. A redevelopment agency met last night, and we're looking at various ways that we can increase our affordable housing stock, low to middle income, and that's going to be an ongoing process. So as we move forward, I will definitely bring to you the results of what we've done. Everyone wants to know about recreation. Recreation. I would advise you to go to our township website where everything we do is listed. Now, I'm going to say our website is second to none. I want to congratulate our township manager for sticking everything on there. I mean, it's jam-packed. So definitely go to the website. And, Mr. Mayor, I'm done.
Wow. Deputy Mayor Udine.
Thank you. Just a few things. So just before this meeting, our township manager and I, we were just doing the air quality check just to kind of see where things are, and Canal Walk reported at 33, so it's good. Going back to the discussion where we had to purchase the air quality checks because we were thinking about the pollution that would happen. So that's still on our radar. We're checking it on and off. The BI master traffic study that happened, Councilman Barnes already mentioned it. I think the study is now available online. If you haven't been part of it, if you wanted to just kind of go and check for yourself and have any additional comments or feedbacks, you can now go online and be able to click on a comment section and enter your comments. And rest assured, there is a steering committee, and our planning director will receive that comment. It does go to people, so just want to make sure it's clear that you are able to input that information in. I know we get told that, okay, how many more meetings, but it's very important. You got to understand, this is a 10-year study, so it takes a lot of information in. And as it may seem like it's slowing, but it's very crucial that we get your inputs to understand that, we have to be also transparent with what we're doing, bringing on the third-party consultant and explaining what they're doing in terms of the study, and then giving you guys an ability to also provide feedback. So it's a very collaborative teamwork that we're doing. So it is taking a little time, but we are progressing. And so more to come from that study. Public Works, we all met just right before this. We're looking at the 2025 roads. And as many know, that goes through another machine that reports, another vendor that provides the gradings. And so we're looking at that. Once things are finalized, that will also be up and running, and we'll provide more information. well-maintained roads are with clear signage is very important, especially now with all the snow that's going on, right? So we're looking at that. I just didn't want to point one more thing out, and I'm not sure if, Bob, it's on your report, but I did see something come out on free tax preparation on our website with one of the vendor called United Way of Northern New Jersey. So if you have low and moderate income, this is a great service available at no cost. You can go online, and it's on our website. You can get all the details there, their number, their email, and have that done. That's all I had. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor, you want to mention about the Ramadan lighting on the 23rd?
That's coming up. Yes, so that's a coming up event on the 23rd. That's our 5th annual Ramadan lighting ceremony that we do at the Senior Center. So the flyer's not up yet, but it will be up very soon at the Township website as well. I think the go-to, what we're all saying is use the Township website as your place to keep refreshing that tool. It's very updated, and thankful to our staff to keeping it reporting a very lively. Thank you.
Thank you. For my comments, there's been a Financial Oversight Committee meeting. We are discussing the budget. We've got some hurdles to jump over. Main problem is the increase in insurance costs, health care costs. This weekend is the fire district election on Saturday from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's an important part of your tax bill, but it's also an important part of your safety in town. You can vote at your local firehouse. And that's what I have, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members have been very kind to...
Didn't we just have those elections?
No, they're in February every year.
Okay.
We did in February of last year.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, we just did something.
We get to do that every year. The council has been very kind to give my report prior to me giving my report, so I have no report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
That's great. We have no council discussion item. Item number 11, sorry. Approval of the minutes. I present the following minutes to Township Council for their approval of the work session regular meeting of November 12th, November 26th, and the regular meeting and executive session on December 10th, all of 2024. Do we have a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Seconded.
Anyone want to discuss them, change them, correct them? Madam Clerk.
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Approval of the warrants in the amount of $2,395,532.82 on February 11, 2025, are presented to the Township Council for payment. Do I have a motion on the warrants?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anyone like to pull an item? The warrants are how we pay our bills. Madam Clerk.
Councilman Barrison?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
We have no ordinances on either first or second reading. So we're down to number 15, the consent agenda. Items A through I, as listed on the consent agenda portion of this meeting, are presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Vasanella had already spoken about the Acquire Mine-Resistant Ambush Protection Vehicle that is being donated to us by the military. It is not so that we can avoid mines in the road. It is a high water rescue and search and rescue vehicle. It's how we will use it. It may save lives, and it'll be at no cost. Any other item someone wants to bring up? Madam Clerk.
Councilman Embarrasson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
We have one item to be voted on separately, Resolution 25-84, authorize out-of-state training officer Andrew Crawford, 44th Annual Hostage Negotiation Seminar, Owens Mills, Maryland. I used to live there. March 3rd through 7th on 2025 is presented to Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Let's hope we don't need it.
Madam Clerk.
Councilman Embarrasson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Old business, 2025 boards, committees, commissions, and vacancies. Do we have any nominations?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a few actually. So I was very pleased to see that we had 7 candidates or applicants for Human Relations, for the Advisory Board of Health. And we have 4 openings and 4 candidates that we are looking forward to join. There are 2 regular members, Ms. Roseanne Carvalli and Guy Catapano. And we also have 2 alternatives, Dr. Tuhei Jalo and Mrs. Marwa Chakuran. And for the Human Relations Committee, we have 1 openings and we have 1 candidate. Actually, we had 2 applicants, and the one that we are welcoming and looking forward to welcome her is Ms. Sharon Chesbatar, if I said it right. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. And I'm presenting for approval, please.
Does anyone have nominations for those same positions? Does anyone have nominations for other positions? We can do it by acclamation. All in favor of the named people and positions, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Congratulations to the 4 of you. We have no executive session. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Be well, Franklin.